Thank you guys for tuning in once again. I appreciate it a lot. Let's get into the video. We're starting off with 1750 at the moment. Protect melee, of course, due to the fact that you don't want to get your bench ruined. Anyway, this setup is with a scythe and a sang. It actually will help you quite a bit for regeneration of your health if you have a sang. Which is, if you're a learner, quite nice. I bunk a couple of things so I can actually pick up the tecton supplies. And also, I'm gonna start with one very easy start, which is actually a hit. Oh, I had to wait there. So I basically do one mage hit to not really lose any DPS, if that makes sense. And then we start with DGS. So that will be a second one. Of course, we always hit zeros, never lucky. Going back to the scythe, scythe on slash, due to the fact that our whole setup is slash based. But if you have an Inquisitor setup, for example, we wait there, one game tick extra, so we get pushed away and we hit him twice. But with the Inquisitors, you will definitely use Crush. We go back to a full mage set, because I want to lure him as far as possible, because we don't have max gear. Better to actually lure it further away for that extra hit, right? Gonna tank a hit here. Of course, it's a 0. Okay, we're never lucky. Another 0. It is what it is. It is definitely not a strong start, but hey, if we don't proc it, we have a good start for Vaza. But if we do proc it, it is a little bit better for, of course, Tectum. Anyway, this will be a 2-hit, I think. And we're splashing a lot. This is wild. I've never had this bad luck in my life. Venge 1 proc, not even with Protect Melee off. It's wild. I have not seen this that much. Sometimes RNG is just crazy. Anyway, we only have to hit a 50, which is absolutely nothing. And you see, that's like a 9 or whatever we hit. Need to actually summon a troll again, but yeah, we managed to get it. Gonna overload over here, due to the fact that that actually will help a little bit with Vaza, of course. The Venge will be way less effective, but our overall damage will increase by quite a bit. Unequip the boots for more DPS, of course, don't forget about that. The Phoenix Necklace will tempt whatever we lose. Quick prayers for ranging. Spam click the boss. And boom, hit. Don't forget to equip your Anguish again. And therefore, of course, still our Rigor. Because Rigor cannot be on during the first hit. Switch back to full melee. Don't forget your Piety. Don't forget your boots. Gonna organize a little bit of my supplies. Once we hit 50, I will just regen a little bit quicker, because I wanted to have 70 or whatever into Guardians, but it didn't make sense. It was a mistake. I'm just not hitting too well. Okay, over there, boots off. You can do overheads off as well if you actually, for example, know that you won't get hit anyway, and save a little bit of prayer in the meantime. This is actually the kill done, because we hit 22, and we also have a troll for overdamage. So we definitely would not have the second, how's it called? Crystal. Gonna pick that up. And we should have more than enough for supplies. The next room will be crabs. And we actually have a boulder, so that saves a little bit of time. It will never hurt to have a boulder. Or, for example, in this case, due to the fact that we have Guardians, that will be completely fine to actually have a rock instead of a boulder. Either way, they're pretty much the same time. I actually use the pool over here. I don't use that a lot. I never use it in a speedrun. Don't use the regeneration of your run energy in a speedrun. That's mega troll. Anyway, I'm equipping pretty much a couple of things due to the fact that I did not have a hammer in this setup. So you can never do a perfect scrap if you don't have a hammer already in your inventory. So you kind of are wasting at least 1 or 2 balls, if that makes sense. But, it is what it is. There are worse things. I'm actually tracking him here, and I'm gonna smash that one. And I actually turn it around, so I can now go for the 4th grab, while actually the mage is already going there, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna re-smash everything, and there is a big chance that I now break it, and it still will be red, I think. Yes, perfect. So due to the fact that we smashed it, and it became red, we kind of had to do that one first, right? So we do range now as the other primary, because we're already that close to it anyway. And therefore we can smash them once more, but it doesn't really matter, because we're fast enough. For the last one, we drop the hammer, and we are going actually into thieving. That's how fast it can be. It was definitely not perfect. It was a 120, and if you have a hammer equipped beforehand, you could do this in give or take 50 seconds. So therefore, we definitely trolled for a good 30 seconds, I guess. But hey, it is what it is. This is not meant to be speed, because that would be a speedrun. This is just a no prep, if that makes sense, right? Over here, we are always doing pretty much the same thing. 2 steps back, 1 step front, and then just click again on the Guardian. This makes it so your energy will be restored, your run energy won't be wasted. Anyway, there is of course a good chance, if you summon a troll, trolls do not deal damage here at all. But if you do summon a troll, you have a 1 in 4 chance to actually hit on the same game tick as the troll, to make sure then the Guardian, due to over damage, will die a game tick earlier, so thus going into the next room will be a game tick earlier. It's I would say, not at all major unless you really go for time, right? So save your supplies if you have difficulty with your supplies and don't summon a troll. Go for PB, always summon a troll in this room. Always. It doesn't matter that it doesn't deal damage, it matters that your game tick faster in the next room. Because it just every second counts if you want to have a PB, right? Even if your PB is, let's say, 25 minutes. But you're still doing a PB run. So, it is always better to use the best methods and just practice. Over here, if you want to be fast at this room from thieving, always start with an inventory free, which we had, and then just grabbing on the grubs, and you dump them in the trot for give or take 7 to 9, something like that. So let's say an 8 average, right? And you never go for bats. Not ever. Bats is wasting your time. You can bring a lockpick in if you're okay with your inventory managing for time. Otherwise, don't bring an inventory slot away and just take chill time and go, just searching for the bat, for example, get more points and just learn to no prep, solo no prep. Anyway, over here I have a couple of bats. I have not yet dumped everything in the trot. Normally I will do, but I just wanna explain everything along the way what my thought process is. So therefore it really doesn't matter that I'm a slightly bit slower. So this will be 30. Good. Now we can basically eat, for example, 1 bat, because we're not 99 anyway. Not seeing that at the moment, only seeing that afterwards while I'm doing my voiceover. But yeah, over here I'm just going to set my inventory correct, or close to correct, eating it up right now. Then we make slightly more inventory free here. And by eating the overload preemptively, we can actually eat more bats and spam click the door, go along with it. While actually eating up with the bats, I will make sure I'm, 99 HP, or actually going into, how's it called? On. So yeah, I saw that I was long range. You don't want to stand on long range with your stave, due to the fact that your staff actually will not properly 3-0 walk. if it's on long range. You always will get dragged to middle incorrectly. Anyway, I'm gonna grab the rest of my supplies that I actually did not pick up due to the fact that we had pets. So basically I bank twice, and normally you bank once or 0 time, depending on what your goal is. For speed, you never ever use the bank. For a no prep, regular no prep, you can use the bank. You just understand that you miss maybe 30 seconds in total over the whole raid by banking. So yeah, we enter over here into Ulm. Gonna drop a couple of supplies, so we have some inventory space free. Checked once again whether I was not on... oh, I actually misclicked there. That was a yellow click through him, through Ulm. Special attack on, and we hit zeros. We noodle a lot. Okay. Have you seen that we only had one whole BGS hit, and that was the 66 over there? Neither in Tecton nor here. I think we had 4 BGS specs in total, which only 1 lands. Just never lucky, you know? Sometimes you have a raid like that, it happens. Anyway, we're doing... I'm gonna refer it as skip 1 and 2. So basically, if you're standing on the tile 2, you always click on skip. Once you click on the hand, you always click on 1 again. And you click then on 2. So basically, I'm wanting to cripple. So I always try to cripple it so we don't get special attacks on the melee arm, right? The moment that you actually cripple, for example, a good decent hit, you're forced to go back to the skip tile because Ulm will always prioritize then, what is it, north, south, and you will get an extra hit in. So you never walk to 2. Otherwise, you get a hit in if you have crippled it at that cycle. So you always go back. So it's basically 1, 2, skip, 1 cripple, back to skip. So you make otherwise a crucial mistake and you consistently tank 1 hit after you cripple. It's dumb, but that's how it works. Anyway, you go back to, for example, your 3 to 0. There are 2 different methods for 3 to 0, by the way. It's the one that you're on game tick on all, and you're the one off game tick of on. Which that means is pretty much whether you attack on the same game tick as it turns or not. So there are 2 different methods. I can make a whole guide of it. I personally prefer the on game tick method. So sometimes I just wait an extra game tick to align myself with on, because then I know when to cripple properly for the melee arm, right? So we summon always the melee troll and just go at it here. This was a 3 to 2, so I know we are completely wrong. It just happens to be that case after our cycle. We see over here that we have a special. This special means that we only can do 1 hit, and then we are forced to go back to skip, get back in proper cycle, as you see over here. Now we definitely are. Since I run, I had to wait 2 game ticks and go back at it. But if you don't run, you can just be tick perfect if you walk from 1 to skip. Watch, tick perfect, boom. So there is a difference whether you run or not towards skip on the 3 to 1. Whether you need to wait at the skip tile or not to make the head turn on the same game tick as you run back for melee 3 to 1. It's actually a fun thing to know all those really small mechanics and niche things to really optimize your scythe petting. It really is fun. Now the thing is, the 3 to 1 does save you, does waste actually a proper, I will say, 16 seconds a raid. So technically standing still is better at the melee arm and just skip portals. That's technically more DPS. Anyway, we beat Jess there and summon the mage troll again. And we're gonna go do another hit in, and we overloaded. So of course we have to have overloaded. I thank God saw that I was overloaded before I spec'd. So I had to force myself an overload really quickly before BGS specking. Anyway, that's my prayer enhanced thing. I switch my scythe on the proper spot. Otherwise, I would have BGS whacked him for crippling. which makes crippling a whole lot more difficult than it's supposed to be if you do that with the BGS whack. BGS whack is just that much worse. Anyway, I'm just not seem to cripple it, so I gotta retry to cripple, and it never clench. It just, it just doesn't. This whole raid is just crazy. I kind of like those raids where everything just doesn't go as I want it to be, if that makes sense, due to the fact that it actually gives me a small challenge. Most people get frustrated and, for example, quit the game, log out, cry about it, wanted to get nerfed or whatever, right? Or like, oh no, we definitely need different rooms, this is too difficult, yada yada yada. I personally don't. Things that are really difficult or not going up my way in chambers, it just motivates me to click better, if it makes sense. I absolutely love it when I just get an 40 off prayer, and need to tank that one. And pretty much either need to tick eat it or not, it makes it for a challenge, which I really love to do here. That's why one of the one of the things is I made this to all the way to sub 1 mil solo setup, right? I love those challenges, if that makes sense. Anyway, over here, we are in a perfect 3-1. So basically what you do from skip, you do a 1 hit on 1, you do a hit on 2, go back to 1, do a hit and walk. That's about it. That's literally it. 1 hit on 1 again, 1 hit on 2 again, and then your third hit is gonna be on 1 again and just walk. And you're tick perfect back at skip to repeat the cycle. It's just beautiful gameplay like this. I really enjoy the niche pathing and just almost skating, flowing, whatever you want to call it, through a series of tick perfect kind of gameplay way. It makes it almost an elegant dance, if that makes sense, right? You're rather dancing with the boss than actually killing the boss, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean, guys? It's almost a rhythm-based, I don't know, sport, if that makes sense. Okay, BGS whack, because, I made a mistake there, BGS 25, and I was thinking there by myself, that was pathetic. I whacked him. I totally forgot to put the spec on. Happens, guys, it happens to the best of us, trust me. Every pro gamer has a moment like that in their life. It's nothing to get discouraged by, it's just fun. Happy accidents, As you see over here, I actually went 1 game tick behind. So I had to force myself to pad 1 step in or outwards of 2. This was also a mistake, so I had to tank 1. Go back to the melee. This time I'm not crippling it, by the way. Because phase 3, you cannot cripple him. Therefore, it's just trying to deal the same amount of damage as the left hand as the right hand. So you equally try to get him down, if that makes sense. I made a mistake there. So I'm definitely going to tank 1. Or I'm going to hit a miss. A miss and hit. So yeah, it happened. Anyway, I'm just trying to completely get him back to roughly same HP on both arms. It's not a perfect job over here. And we hit quite decent. Okay, over there. This is way more intensive, by the way, because every cycle, you basically do a 6-way switch every time. So it's definitely more intense, but it makes it so much more. I'm actually thinking about a 4-0 guide on the scythe with the Tumican. It's really difficult because you go all the way from long-range drag scythe, long-range drag Tumican to long-range Tumican again after a scythe hit. It's very niche. It's a rather new method. Anyway, we kill the melee arm first, due to the fact that it heals, of course. And we don't want to kill the major and then the melee arm heals. So that will be definitely trolling. We equipped our full range. We have made a little mistake, but we fixed it quite easy there. by running back. Anyway, what we are now doing is between the outer sides of the room, where Om turns his head, we're going to just walk and hit. I am very bad at batting like that due to the fact that I'm so used to T-bow, which is a 5-tick, and then you do the 4-1, right? 4-1 is just beautiful. You don't lose any DPS. You only tank once every 4 hits that you do. But with the bow, I'm just missing ticks over here a lot. But I prioritize turning over dealing damage. Prioritizing turning over damage means that your rate will get slower, but you will take way less damage. I don't even know how to really do tick perfect with shooting with a BOVA without tanking every time that you do it, if that makes sense. I don't think there is a method to do that, because the BOVA is just too fast. There is a method for a blowpipe to really just go like a W, like back and front, which I think actually is way more damage than a BOVA itself, but way more intensive. Kind of just like running side to side to a hit anytime he is not focusing, and then when he is focusing, I just run along and try not to get hit. But yeah, I think the best thing is maybe Mage Spray up instead of range, because you're quite tanky as is in Crystal Gear anyway, you know? Don't forget to resummon a troll. I totally forgot it, because over damage will help just so much more. Okay, it's that over here. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciated it a lot. See you in the next one.